You guys, welcome to the latest episode of Beyond the Tape. This episode is another big one with another huge idol of mine. But before we move on to that, we will chat about our supporters. We've got Canyon Bicycles on for 2021 this year. Those guys are absolutely killing it with all their product. Their team this year is amazing as well. Just going to lead to better and better bikes. I don't even know if they can get better. I've been really loving this Spectral. If you want one too, jump over to canyon.com and those guys will be more than happy to help you out. All service and questioning can be done with the Australian crew as well. So you're not talking to some guy over in Germany, America or whatever. They are Australian. Next up, we've got NSDynamics. They are Australia's premium suspension servicing and product company. They do Öhlins, they do DVO, they do force sprung, and they'll get your current shocks working better than anything. But, you know, we can't all afford that Öhlins goodness, so you might as well send it up there for a high-performance tune, and you can thank me later. Best you'll ever have. We've also got 2Up Bike Co. on board this year. They do factor components, Noble Wheels, Dupont, and Shimano. Those Noble wheels look absolutely epic. I can't wait to get some on this bike. I've just got the pedals and the stem, and I'm so keen to shred those things. The new wheels, they look amazing with some extra compliance up front. They've got some damage protection on the back, especially with those TR37 rims. If you want to keep comfortable while you're riding and you're slamming those rims, jump over to huckerworld.com.au. Don't be an idiot. Those guys make some really comfortable tech tees. All my mates that are riding in them now, they're frothing on them. And I haven't seen a Snapchat or an Instagram post where they haven't been wearing them since they got them. So jump over there, use Beyond the Tape 10 and get a rad discount. Next up, we've got Dirt Surfer. Those guys have come on board. They've supplied me some mud guards to help sponsor the podcast as well. So jump over to beyondthetape.com, grab a mud guard that's going to help me keep producing this and hopefully up the quality of these videos and the lighting and everything else, because this camp light's not cutting. But head over there, and if you want your own company's design or something else cool done on a mud guard, hit Alan up, sales@dirtsurfer.com.au, and he'll be able to help you design your perfect mud guard. 100% recycled materials and recyclable as well. Anyway, that's enough of me dribbling on about this stuff. We have Jack Moir, Shark Attack Jack, the guy with the beard and the fro and more style in mountain biking than any other racer. Challenge me, I don't care. I love his style. We chat about his team moves, we chat about a bit of his lifestyle, a bit of how he kind of goes about training and everything. Unfortunately, on this day, I was super rushed and had a whole bunch of stuff going on. I feel like I might have been flapping about a little bit in this podcast, and I think Anyway, let me know what you think. We might do a redo of this someday in the next year or so, and we'll have a chat with him again. But let me know if you've got any pointers or anything like that. Review on YouTube, review on iTunes, wherever you're listening to it. Anyway, grab beer, grab water, grab wine. Enjoy the podcast.
Easy, man. Thanks so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Nah, it's all good.
Been hassling you for probably like a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Because last year you had like a appendix surgery just before Nationals, right?
Yeah. It's probably the week before Champs.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We're gonna do one then or something, were we?
I think we're gonna.
I can't remember. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna do it at Champs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, he's ruined his appendix.
Yeah, that was a bit of a stitch up.
How was that, like coming into like the new team and stuff, and then having your appendix have to come out?
Oh, it was all good because it was only gonna be like 6 weeks till I was back to normal. So.
Yeah. Okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't worried about it. We still had like 2 months before the first race, so it would have been tight. Like it wouldn't have been perfect for that first race, but I wasn't going to miss it.
Yeah. Well, luckily enough, it ended up being almost like 6 months or something, right?
Yeah, that worked in my favour for sure.
Because you raced like the EWS and World Cup, right? Most of the rounds?
Yeah, I did the full EWS and then I did Worlds and both Maribor races, but I didn't do Portugal because I thought we were starting real early this year, so I came home. But then now we're not starting till June.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Has that all been postponed? I thought it was in like March or something.
Yeah, it was supposed to be in March, but yeah, now it's been postponed. First round's in June.
Yeah, okay. Kind of makes more sense, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they're just stalling a bit to see what happens.
What was the condensed like season like for you? Because that was pretty hectic, right?
Yeah, I liked it. You kind of just get in there and get it all done, but I was pretty tired by the end of it, and I was still over there for like 3 months, so it was a decent trip. Normally I'd do maybe 4 weeks max and then come home, so I kind of missed home a fair bit, but I liked just smashing all the races out in a short amount of time rather than just stringing them out the whole way through the year.
Yeah, because I think you mentioned like even on Instagram or something, you're starting to feel a bit homesick or getting a bit over traveling around Europe by the end of it.
Yeah, at the end, I always get like that after about like 4 weeks over there is like my optimal time, and then after that, I slowly become more and more over it.
It's pretty taxing, hey, just like traveling around somewhere that's not like fluent English and just doing everything, right?
Yeah, and I don't know, it just like recharge when you come home, and just miss my friends and my girlfriend and like just surfing, and I don't know, I really like home, so I definitely like to get back between the races.
Yeah, sick. What was the whole COVID situation like for the EWSs and stuff? Like, did you have bubbles and stuff like that for them, or was that just the World Cups?
Hold up. Sorry, I had a dry throat.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty normal. Like when we rocked up over to Europe, the border dude didn't even like check that I had a negative COVID test or like anything like that. You just rock up, show him your passport like normally, stamps it, and you go through. Like you wouldn't even know there was something going on. And then till I got to like Morzine and like everyone was kind of wearing masks. That was the first time I wore a mask because we didn't have to back like where I live. So the whole time. So that was a bit weird, but that was about it. Like just wearing masks. You're still doing everything, like still going out to eat, and that was pretty much the only restriction.
Yeah, okay.
Like obviously at the races we had to stay in our bubbles, wear masks in the pits, on shuttles. There was a bunch of, I think the downhills were a bigger pain in the ass. I don't know if it's because, I suppose because Enduro you're like riding around all day, you're not really around anything, but downhill every lap you got to get in the lift and go into the pits and stuff like that. So it's just like, you get pretty over it.
And they were being like pretty hectic about it too, right? There was full marshals and stuff, making sure masks are on. Yeah,
at the downhill ones, it was pretty gnarly. Apparently, if you got caught a couple of times, you could get the whole team DQ'd.
Really?
And so yeah, they were pretty serious about it.
Yeah. Did it affect you in any way, or were you just going with the flow?
Same old shit. I just had to put a mask on. But it was annoying, like getting those tests. Like it actually blew your nose out. Come out of all those like just eyes watering. Like I was a bit of a wuss for those, but it was like pretty big lineups for them too, because obviously they hadn't done it before, and they were trying to jam them into like small schedules, like small amounts of time between practice, and that was a bit annoying. But apart from that, it was all pretty good.
Was the cost of all that like was the cost of that on the UCI or for you guys? Because I know they were charging.
That was on the teams. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Gabe said he spent like 10,000 euros on our team just on Corona tests. Pretty gnarly.
That's insane. Yeah. I couldn't deal with that, man. Like just that nose thing. Oh, I'd be.
Yeah, it's horrible, eh? Some, like all the ones over there were that fucked, like just way up into your skull. But when I came back for quarantine, they literally just put a little bud in your nose, and I was all good with that. I was surprised and relieved.
From all the like nurses and doctors and stuff I know, I wouldn't be surprised if they were just taking the piss a little bit and going a little bit further sometimes just to be that guy.
For sure.
So like your 2019 couldn't have been much more hectic, right? So, oh, sorry, your 2020, because at the end of 2019, you kind of were off your team and you didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, well, I thought I thought I had somewhere to go and it fell apart last minute. So then I picked the Kenyan deal up pretty late.
Mm. How stressful was it? Because it was like October, November when you realized like you didn't have a team, or even later.
Yeah, it was late. Probably the end of November, and
Yeah,
then
okay.
like I still had nothing coming in December. I think it was just I wasn't stoked. That was
Because deadline for the USE is like your UCI is like the 15th of January, right? Or something like that. So to have nothing in
yeah.
December, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know when that deadline is, but I think if you don't have something sorted by then, you're not getting anything because all the big teams are signed their riders well before that. So I got a bit lucky.
How was your motivation for training and stuff during that? Was it kind of off season anyway, and you weren't training that much, or?
Yeah, it was off season. I normally start training around like end of December, early Jan. So I was kind of just I was just surfing and trying to keep my mind off it, but there was definitely times where I was so over it.
Did you ever have like that thought that you might not have a team, or was it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what I was going to do really. Like I thought about maybe doing the privateer thing, but I just don't think I would do that again. Like, so I don't know. I was just hoping that something came up because otherwise I think I was going to have a year off or something like that.
Because it's like if you have a bad year as a privateer, it could work against you as well, right? Even though you're probably putting in more work.
Yeah, and I don't know. I didn't want to put all my money into doing that, and it's just hard work.
Yeah.
Especially like after you're used to factory support for so many years. Like I did that for a couple of years to start with, and it was fun, and like it was definitely a good learning experience. But I just wouldn't want to do it again. Like at the point I'm at in my career now.
No, it'd be too hard to do that and try and be, because you're a top 10 rider every day of the week, right? It'd be too hard to be a top 10 and a privateer.
Yeah, it'd definitely be hard. There's a few guys who did it this year. I think Charlie, he got a bit of help from Pivot, but he was getting top 10s and pretty much doing that. So it's it's doable. It's just whether you want to do it and spend all your own money and stuff like that, I guess.
Just sink yourself into a hole to go racing.
Yeah.
So, like, how long were you a privateer for? Because you signed up with, was Eddie Masters and that crew your kind of first team?
Yeah, I was 2012 was my first year doing World Cups. I did 2 World Cups and World Champs. That was with like the Australian team, but like we have to pay for all that. So I had a bit of help like with those guys like Rando and those guys teaching us how to like I guess travel and go to races and stuff, but we still had to pay for it all. And then next year, 2013, I was privateer again. I got in a van with a couple buddies and we did the whole World Cup series.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun. And then the year after 2014 is when I signed with Eddie on the Bergamot thing. It was pretty much privateer, but he paid for a few flights and we had bikes and spares, which made it way easier. And then 2015 was my first proper team, Intense.
Yeah, okay. So you were pretty much like a privateer for like 4 or 5 years, right? If you take that into account, that's pretty good.
12, 13, 14, 3 years.
Yeah. I didn't even think you'd been around for that long, to be honest.
Yeah, feeling old now after thinking about it, eh? 2012, so I've been racing World Cups for 8 years.
Yeah, like that's immense.
Yeah.
What was the support from like Rando and stuff like for Australia? Were those guys pretty rad to be riding with?
Yeah, that was cool. we were blowing shit up. I remember at Monsanam we were blowing shit up, and luckily they knew the SRAM guys because otherwise we all would have been screwed. We brought all the like little spares and stuff that they recommended, but we still needed more stuff.
Yeah.
But Rando and Emil, we knew like Dawson and Evan and all Todd, those boys from SRAM, so they helped us out. It was it's just showing us how to do everything. Like obviously first World Cup, you're super nervous, you got no idea what you're doing, and it was just cool to have someone there that's like done it all and just tell you what to expect and how to go about it.
I mean, at that time we had a pretty decent like national series, but how much different was like the World Cup for you to go to than say a national round? Is it that much of a difference?
Yeah, because at a national round you'd see like one or two like Sam and Kavarik, or like I don't know, not everyone went. Sometimes Mick went to them. Like you'd see like one or two of your like heroes or idols, I guess, and then you go to a World Cup and you just see like everyone on all the videos you've ever watched, and the tracks are just like 10 times gnarlier and faster. So it's a big difference, and the level of racing is just you can't even replicate it in Oz.
Yeah, okay. Even though we've got some of the faster guys, it's still hard to replicate that, even if 6 or 7 of them rocked up.
Yeah, because they're on holidays back home.
True. Yeah,
So
okay.
it's just not the same level. Even if even when all us fast Aussies go to a national round, like at home, it's still nowhere near the level of if we go over to a World Cup a month later and race.
Shit. That makes me feel even worse about my riding after watching you guys at nationals. Well, so you get a bit starstruck from seeing everyone at that first World Cup as well, like Sam Hill and all that crew?
Yeah, it was just pretty cool, I guess. First time, like all of us juniors had pretty much seen it. Well, actually, apart from since the Worlds came to Canberra a couple of years before that, we kind of got to see a couple of those top guys before that. But yeah, it was pretty wild.
What's it like now being almost on the flip side of that, where kids are looking up to you and you're the star that's making people starstruck?
I don't know. It doesn't feel like that at all.
Yeah, okay.
Like they're all still racing, so I still feel like I'm like looking up to them still. I don't know.
Yeah. But do you have kids and stuff come up to you and they're fully stoked on seeing you and meeting you? Is that a bit of a weird feeling, or?
Yeah, that's pretty cool to know that like I guess that they look up to me and like want to watch me race and go, well, I mean, yeah, it's pretty mad.
Yeah, sick. And then after those couple of years, you mentioned you were on Bergamot with Eddie.
Yeah.
So that was like Eddie Masters. Were you with Reece Wilson at the time as well?
Nah, he was later.
Okay.
I was just on that first year. It was just me, Eddie, Casey Brown, and Daniel Mayling was our mechanic.
Yeah, okay. So there's still 3 big names, right? Was there much to learn from Eddie at the time?
Yeah, lots of bad things. Nah, it was probably one of the funnest years traveling I've ever had. It was such a sick year, and we got a few good results, so it was pretty good.
Because even he seems like one of those guys that can just work hard, party twice as hard, and then still manage to work harder again the next day.
Yeah, he's messed in the head, eh? You've probably heard all his stories. He does all sorts of weird shit, like training when he gets home from partying, and he's wild, eh?
Was it easier for you to kind of start finding your feet when you got on that team as well, or were you guys all just kind of learning the ropes at the same time?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me getting on that team was I was kind of like not too serious, but I was trying to be like, just like a full serious like racer, like training, eating well. Like obviously you want to do all that, but when I was on that team, we had like lots of fun between the races and even on race weekends. And it just yeah, I got the best results I'd had, and I think it just made me realize that I was always going to ride and race better if I was having fun. Like, obviously train hard, eat well, and all that stuff. Take it serious on the race weekend, but there's nothing wrong with having a bit of fun between, or going out to the after party and having a few beers with your mates after. Like, that's probably the biggest thing I learned that year.
And that seems to have kind of gone throughout your career. We'll touch on that like a little bit later, but after that you moved across to Intense. Was it straight up after that?
Yeah, that was the first year they were turning the team into a factory team. So Ivan was running it was like a Intense satellite team of some sort, and then they were getting factory support from 2015 onwards. And he reached out to me, and it was a tough decision to move because, like I said, I enjoyed traveling with Eddie and those guys so much. But in the end, I thought it was going to be a better move for my career, so I did it.
Like, to get a team like Intense, which has such a racing heritage, that's kind of got to be a bit like humbling or motivating as well there, right?
Yeah, I was like a bit surprised, and it was my first time like getting paid as well. So it was a pretty cool thing to have happen.
Were you nervous about like holding up to your results and everything like that, coming onto such a big factory kind of team, or you just got motivated more?
I wasn't really nervous. I can't really remember. I don't think I was, but it definitely made it hard when I went over to Spain that first summer, like maybe a month or two before the first World Cup, to train and like just get used to the bike and stuff, and I got hurt. And then that ended up like stringing out for a while, and that really sucked to not be able to prove what I could do for those guys on a factory team. So that it was getting a bit stressful then, but at the start I don't remember it being too stressed out about it.
Because was that when you did your collarbone the first time?
Yeah, that was the first time.
They were pretty supportive of you throughout that whole process, right?
Yeah, they were real good. They looked after me heaps. So that was, they did right by me. So it felt good when I had that good couple years, that good run from 2016 on. It felt good to kind of repay them for, looking after me.
What happened with your kind of collarbone? That was like a brutal kind of almost medical mishap, right?
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I got unlucky with my collarbone surgery, and I had surgery in Barcelona, and I got an infection, and it just wouldn't heal. And I had a bunch of surgeries, had to get the plate taken out, and then I broke it again. And I had to get another plate, and then just, a bunch of shit like that. Went on for over a year. I didn't race a World Cup for over a year that first year with Intense, and then broke it again that next year because they realised the infection wasn't gone. So I missed the first race in 2016 in Lords, and then slowly clawed my way back up to where I was for the rest of the 2016 season.
That's insane, because looking from like the outside in, most people are probably like just saying you're not racing or something like that. But on the back end, you're struggling with that broken bone. It's got to be pretty tough.
Yeah, it was tough. The toughest thing for me was just training hard and then like breaking it again, not even getting to race. And then I start training again, and I'm like, why the fuck am I just putting myself in the hurt box every day when I can't even race? This is like a year later, when I'm going to do all this for nothing and just not be able to use it or not be able to race. So that was the hardest thing, eh?
How'd you go about getting up and training then? Like, if you've got that in the back of your mind, where's your motivation coming from for that?
Oh, I don't know, just keep pushing on with it.
Yeah.
Just hope that shit'll turn around, eh? And it did, so.
Yeah, it definitely did, because you basically got back on the bike and just started slaying it, right? It was
Yeah, as soon as it got better and I was healthy, I felt like I was back up to where by the end of 2016, I was back up in the top 10 where I left off in 2014, and then I had a good off season, and then that was when I had my good year in 2017. And then I broke my collarbone again in 2018, but I got a few good results before and after that. So
yeah.
it's still a pretty good year. I only missed 3 races or something. That overall was still better than me racing the whole season in 2019 with that new setup, even though I broke my collarbone and missed 3 or 4 races mid-season. So, yeah.
Was that 2016 and 2017 season, was that with the Soul Train boys? Was that with Lucas and Dean Lucas and all that crew?
Yeah, 2016 was the first year for Dino, and then we had Luca Cometti and Nick Nesterov.
Yeah.
And then 2017, Chuck joined the team. Luca left, so it was me, Chuck, Dino, and Nicky. And then 2018, I think Nick left the team, and it was just me, Chuck, and Dean.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So that 3 years was sick.
It honestly looked like one of the best teams to be in for a very long time there.
Yeah, it was. We had good crew, good parts, good bike. Like, yeah, had heaps of fun while we're doing it. It was awesome.
It seemed like is that the same kind of vibes you're getting from the Bergamont team transferring across to that Intense team? Just with better support?
Yeah, just without the gypsy and late nights driving the van and a little bit less partying.
Do you think you would have done as well if it wasn't that team and you were still on the same bike? I know it's impossible to tell, but
if it wasn't what on
if you're on a different team,
by them people.
Yeah,
I don't know. Probably definitely helped having a good crew there and going having fun with my mates every weekend. Probably would have done as well. But yeah, who knows?
It's just an interesting thing to see that kind of mindset for athletes and watching it change the way they ride and the way they perform. Like,
yeah, everyone's different. Like I don't have like Dino to travel with or like buddies to travel with at the moment. I've got, once I get over there, like Dim on my team and Ines, they're cool. So it's a different vibe, but we still got a cool crew. And yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's a little bit different environment that I'm in now, but I'm still racing well. So
yeah, that's an understatement. That's for sure.
It can, yeah, as like I'm still happy.
Yeah,
where I am now, and I think it can definitely change. Like if I was on some super serious team, I don't think I would race as well, or it just wouldn't be fun. I might race as well at the start, and then I would get over it and get burnt out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Whereas if you have that kind of almost beach surfer vibe around your team and you kind of relaxed a bit more, it seems to be working well for you.
Yeah, I guess it just helps like long term. Keeps it fun and fresh, and you just still want to do it. Yeah.
And could you explain the Soul Train for the people that don't know from that? Because that's what you guys kind of called your train. Honestly, one of the best things.
Yeah, I think Dino came, or maybe it was Charlie, one of those boys came up with it. It was just, we just used to ride in the train every single lap pretty much. Like, yeah, share, like, just the photographers used to hate it because you can't really get photos of us, but it was mad fun, just getting wild with your mates every time you rode instead of just trying to do serious laps all the time. But at the same time, we're helping each other with lines and stuff like that. So I think that's why we were all going so well.
Yeah, it was a breakout season for all three of you, really.
Yeah.
Is it, I guess, like you guys are all on a team, but it is an individual sport at the end of the day. have to balance what you're kind of getting from each other, or at that point you guys are all just riding for the team's sake? Like, how's that dynamic kind of work?
Yeah, we never had an issue in that team. I
Okay.
think we're all happy with each other, like happy for each other if they went well. So, yeah.
And then, like, after that was the biggest change up for you for the team and stuff, right? Because still the same bike, but then you're on with Aaron Gwynn and Nico, and then you've got Fox suspension, Shimano, pretty much everything else except for the frame had swapped. That seemed like a real tough year for you.
Yeah, I didn't like the bike, the parts and stuff we had to run that year. I couldn't get used to them.
So was the parts, like, not to delve into deep and go down that path, but was it more the parts, or was the team change also like a part of the factor there, or?
I think it was more just probably the spec we had to run. Like I got on with Aaron and Nico pretty well. Like, yeah. I still enjoyed going to the races with them. It was just more the fact I was told I would be able to keep running what I liked if I didn't like the new stuff, and then that wasn't the case when I was struggling, and then I couldn't get out of that struggle because I just had to keep running that stuff, and then I was getting like angry with it all, and yeah, it was that was the shit bit.
What was it about, like, the parts change you didn't like? Was there any kind of key things that you could have identified that was the difference, or was it just like an overall feeling?
Yeah, there was a couple. There was just a couple bits on the bike that I didn't like. I'm not gonna.
No, I don't expect it. Yeah.
I'm I'm sure people would, understand. Like, from what I was riding to what I went to, and yeah, I don't know. I couldn't make it work. I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely looked like a tough time.
I wasn't enjoying it by the end of the season.
Was there much to learn from Gwyn and stuff like that? Like going from your last team where you're all buddies and stuff like that, and then you had like this full team switch, but you're riding with Aaron Gwyn, arguably one of the best ever to be on a bike. Was there much you could have learned from him and his kind of tactics, or?
Yeah, I think I learned a bit like hanging out with him and watching him. I think I learned a lot in the gym with Todd because he was training me that year.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And Aaron helped out a bit too, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, also from Nico, he's like real technical guy with his bike and stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know. Aaron wasn't actually there for probably half the races. He got hurt.
Oh, that's right.
It was kind of just me and Nico for the end of the season. But yeah, it was cool being on the team with someone that such a crazy rider. But I don't know. It just wasn't the same atmosphere as the years before.
Yeah, you got to have that overall vibe, right?
Yeah.
And we've spoke about what happened at the end of that, but Canyon, how did that kind of come about after the whole thing?
Oh, I was just messaging pretty much everyone, seeing what I could find.
Yeah.
And I think Eddie Masters, Win was helping me get in touch with some enduro managers because I couldn't find anything for downhill.
Yeah, sick.
And Eddie messaged me because Win must have told him, and he said that Fab had just reached out to him to see if he wanted to ride for him. And but Eddie was obviously re-signed with Pivot, so I messaged Fab, and then it just went from there.
It seems so relaxed, like looking from the outside. And if you read the forums, everyone's like, "Oh, these guys are going to do this," and there's all these big team rumors and stuff. But it's literally just some text messages or you guys reaching out to each other.
Yeah, it was just the last minute thing. I kind of got lucky, and yeah.
And you're back on all your old bits, so you must be stoked at that time.
Yeah, back on pretty much everything I was running before, which was, yeah, amazing.
Did you even test ride any of the canyons or get much like input to that, or you just
No,
yeah.
I had no other option. I was going racing on
Yeah.
canyon, or I wasn't racing, so it was a pretty easy decision.
It seems to have worked for you pretty well, right?
And yeah, obviously they knew. I knew the spec that I was going to run, and it was back to pretty much what I was running on the old intense days. So I knew I could be comfortable. Like I knew with that stuff, I should be able to set up some like most bikes pretty well.
So you're going back to your RockShox SRAM, Maxxis, every DT wheels and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And wasn't your intention to go back to the EWS? Obviously, like you wanted to be on the downhill side of things, or you just wanted to race?
Last year I didn't want to do enduro. I just wanted to race, and then I don't know. After racing it, that was the year before. Coming into 2020, I didn't want to do enduro. It was just a last minute thing so I could race mountain bikes. But then after doing it last year, I really enjoyed it and went pretty well. So I'm actually pretty stoked to do it this year.
Yeah, like your first race was like a third or a second?
Nah, first one was fourth, and then
a
couple thirds, yeah.
What was the biggest difference, other than like, you're climbing and all the obvious things, but it seems like the track's almost gnarlier in the EWS now than some of the, or more technical than some of the downhill tracks, right?
Yeah, they are for sure. It's like different gnarly in enduro and downhill.
Okay.
Downhill's so much gnarlier in the fact that you're going so fast and you're on the edge, like the very edge, because you know the track. Everyone knows the track, and everyone's trying to lay down the quickest lap after riding it all weekend. Whereas in enduro, the tracks, I feel like they're a lot more technically gnarly, like pretty steep, kind of rocky, rooty stuff, which can be wet most of the time. But you're not going as fast, so it's not gnarly that way because you've only done one lap. So you just like you don't know where you're going, so you can only go so fast. But yeah, I really liked the tracks, how they're just all natural roots, rocks, loam. Like that's sick to me. Don't really like fucking blowing my lungs up on some gnarly pedal stages, but that's actually the only stage I've won was this gnarly pedal one.
Is that the one where Fabienne was yelling at you?
Yeah, that's the only reason why I won. Because
Oh.
right before that, Ines was yelling at me. Then I think my mechanic Tom was yelling at me on the next section. It was just a bunch of long climbs, flat, long climb, flat, long climb. And then I got to around that corner at the end one, and I was like, oh, fuck, I'm fried. And then Fab's there, and he's like, don't sit down, and like chased me the whole way up that last climb. And after I passed him, I couldn't even see, and I still had like 4 minutes of that stage left, and there was still a lot of pedaling.
Yeah.
But I just kept sprinting.
That's so good.
Yeah.
What's it like having Fabienne Burrow as like a manager and having him on board?
Yeah, he's pretty dialed, especially at the races. It was sweet having him at Worlds. He was up on the track all week, and the track was changing so much because of the mud and the weather. So he was constantly like sending us videos of lines and
where
we should be going, like from first practice to last practice right before race run. Pretty
sick.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's the Frenchest thing you can possibly do. But
yeah, he's got it. He's definitely a big help with that stuff.
So you mentioned like that's pretty hectic riding and you're pedaling a lot. Your training obviously had to change as well, but you're also racing your downhill, which you do well at. Do they both complement each other pretty well for the training and the riding aspect?
They do. Like, I definitely felt underprepared coming into the downhill and didn't expect to go as well as I went.
Okay.
Just because I was super fit and everything, but I wasn't strong at all. And I didn't have those short, like anaerobic system, like short bursts of like sprinting and stuff. I was just gassing myself, like doing that stuff. So, yeah, I just felt underprepared for the downhill coming into Leo Gang. Like my shoulders were blown up. Like there was 4 days of practice. Wasn't used to just the repetitive, massive compressions, and yeah, it was. I didn't feel dialed for that, but it's because I was doing so much road, long rides, stuff like that for enduro.
You don't sound too stoked about that road bit.
Yeah, because I've just started back up again.
Yeah.
And I've got the first race isn't for another 5 months or something. So I'm just thinking of the 5 months of road I've got to
do. It's fun, man. You got to think of it as fun.
Yeah, I enjoy it sometimes. Just not when, it's not when there's like a bunch of sprinting in there as well for like 5 hours. And I hate the bit about cars and trucks, how they nearly clean you up about 10 times a ride.
Yeah.
Pretty scary.
People always ask, like roadies always ask me, they're like, hey, are you scared of riding mountain bikes? I'm like, no, the trees don't move. The rocks don't move. Like the cars scare the shit out of me.
You're in control, whereas on a roadie, you're like pretty much placing your life in the hands of other people, just hoping that they're not on their phone or something like that and just going to clean you up.
So sketchy.
It's pretty gnarly, yeah. I don't like that bit of it.
Yeah. Was that the hardest bit of training switch, or do you spend as much time in the gym now, or you swapped all that around as well? Or?
No, I don't spend barely any time in the gym now.
Okay.
I want to spend more this year, but last year, I don't think I spent enough because my plan was so focused on road.
Yeah.
And like long rides. I think, the biggest thing was just the volume of training and the length of the rides. All my rides were like, just a lot of long stuff. Pretty much every Friday I'd do like a big roadie, and then just at the moment I'm doing like road every morning.
Yeah, you can have that.
Yeah.
Leo Gang would have been one of the hardest tracks to transfer from enduro to downhill on for this year or for last year, right? Like that track looked insane for Worlds.
I think because we did a bit of mud riding in Morzine and a bit of had a mud race in Zermatt.
Yeah.
So it was I'd had a bit of practice in the mud, which made it a bit easier actually. But yeah, I reckon it would have been harder if it was normal Leo Gang. But since they put those new sections in, slowed it down a bit, made it a bit more techy, it was more like what I've been riding.
It's funny, like everyone's asking for techie riding and stuff, and then there was a bunch of complaints that it was too tech at that race. Like it was a bit of a weird one. What were your thoughts on like those changes?
I didn't get that, We've been asking for that stuff at Leo Gang for the last probably 5 or 6 years, and then they do it and everyone whinges. I was like, what are you up to? I was stoked with the changes,
It genuinely looked hard. Like when you see people struggling that much, it genuinely looked tough.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty gnarly.
How good was it watching Reece Wallace like ride that weekend? Yeah, he looked like he was on fire.
He laid down a heater. All weekend he was riding good. Like second lap he came through and did this gnarly stump triple that I didn't even do it all weekend. I was like, what? That's the stuff I kind of wasn't up to scratch with. Like when I jumped back on the downhill bike, I didn't have the confidence to just hit that gnarly shit. That was another big gap in Maribor that I just didn't do because I just hadn't been riding. Like, I only did like 2 weeks of downhill all year, and I just didn't have the confidence to just send that gnarly stuff.
That's super confusing to me because you have more travel and it's a bigger bike, or is it so big that it negates all of that?
Oh, you're just not riding that stuff. Like, yeah, on the trail bike, you're doing more like little technical gaps and like stuff like that. Whereas, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't 100% comfortable. Like, I had 2 weeks on that bike ever on the sender.
Yeah. And where did you place again at Worlds? It was like top 10?
6th, yeah.
Yeah. That's epic. What was it like on that new sender? I mean, even though you didn't ride the old one, but for 2 weeks and to have a top 10, that must be a pretty damn good setup for you.
I reckon it feels real good, and I pretty much nailed the sizing straight up. I just went with a large because I'm riding a pretty small enduro bike, and I didn't want to swap from a pretty small enduro bike to a massive downhill bike, so that made it easy to swap between. Yeah, I'm frothing it.
How many times a week do you reckon you get asked the size of your enduro bike? Because I know I've asked you before, but it always looks tiny.
Yeah, a few people have asked me for sure. Not as much as how big's your stack though.
Yeah.
Not huge. It's only like 2 or 3 spaces.
It just looks massive.
Yeah.
What's the reasoning behind going? Because you're 6'1", 6'2"-ish?
Yeah, just over 6 somewhere.
Yeah.
6'2".
Which would usually be like on an extra large for most models.
I would run an extra large Strive too. Like, I tested it and it felt like it fit me better. But just doing those real tight techie tracks, it was going to be too much bike to get around some of that stuff. So I decided to go with the large. Did
you have to adjust like your riding style for it much, or you just dealt with it?
Just everything felt the same, just a bit of a smaller bike.
Yeah. Are you on a large spectral now, or the extra large? You're on large spectral as well?
Yeah.
Which is the equivalent of an extra large Strive, I guess, anyway, at the end of the day.
Oh, is it? I haven't looked at the sizing, but it doesn't feel huge.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right.
It feels about the same as my large Strive.
Yeah, right. Gonna have to get one.
Yeah, it's pretty mad. I've only ridden it maybe 4 or 5 times, but I'm frothing it. Yeah. I want to try it with some bigger forks though, because I've just got the pikes on it at the moment. I just planned on it being like a little cruisy sort of play trail bike thing, but it's pretty hectic. Like, I rode some downhill tracks on it and it feels good, so I want to try it with some beefy forks.
Just chuck some of those Zebs on there or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do much in the way of product testing for SRAM and stuff like that? Or
yeah, we just do like our team camps pretty much every year, and yeah, we do a product testing there and just try to get the bike dialed in. Give them feedback. Like, we rode the new Zeb this year.
Yeah.
At team camp pretty early on. I think it was in January.
Did you notice much difference between that fork and like your old lyrics and stuff, or?
Yeah, it was real good, especially at where we were riding, because it was just a 3-minute rock garden. So
yeah,
the Zeb was just like, oh man, I'm yawning. The Zeb was just like eating these rocks. It just has like a better feeling in the first part of the stroke.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
It just feels more like a downhill fork, so it felt like you could just swing off the back and just point the thing anywhere and it would just like bomb through it compared to the lyric. But I think sometimes the Zeb's a bit too much fork back home.
Okay. Yeah.
But as soon as you get on a downhill track or something, like if I ride a wobber downhill, it feels awesome on
it. What's it like riding that thing on your trail bike? You look pretty dialed down there.
Yeah, it feels all good, eh? Trail bike's pretty damn capable of doing most tracks. Like, The EWS tracks we do are way gnarlier than a Wobber downhill.
Yeah, it's definitely weird seeing, like here in SA, we don't have the gnarliest tracks ever. Like it's pretty chill down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone wants 170, 160 mil bikes. They want these big, slow, long slack things. It's weird to see pro. Seems like the pros and you guys at the elite level almost go smaller sometimes than bigger, especially in the enduro side.
Because it makes it funner.
Yeah, okay.
So back home, if you're on a big bike, you can do anything on our shitty tracks. Whereas if you're on a little bike, it just makes all that stuff feel harder than normal, I guess.
Just trying to push your limits a little bit.
Yeah.
You seem to have been doing a lot more work with like Stagsy and stuff up there as well, like with your videos and stuff. You even released like a bit of a vlog the other day.
Yeah, I'm trying to get like a bit of a YouTube going where I can put up some edits and stuff like that. Yeah, we do like an annual rally every year where
good.
All my homies get cars and we just thrash the tits off them around this paddock track we made. So I thought this year I wanted to like film the whole day because I normally just make a little edit of the actual rally, the driving the cars bit. So I did that, and then I just wanted to get a bunch of riding clips going. I've been wanting to do like a YouTube thing for a couple years, and I've just been putting it off. So now I'm actually going to do it, and try to keep some consistent videos, like at least one video a week going up there. Because on Instagram, you just can't. You can make cool little writing edits and stuff, but you just can't make long enough videos, I guess, to do like a full day or like a vlog type thing.
That's only so much you can watch in like a square before your eyes. Yeah. Whereas,
I feel like you can't really see someone's personality as much on Instagram or something, where on YouTube when you can do like a full life or like a full vlog type thing, it's a bit different than where you just on Instagram you just posting short riding clips and stuff like that.
Just 30-second bangers.
30-second bangers, pretty much.
Where did the idea for that rally come from? Because that is the sickest thing ever. That's so good.
We've been doing that for years, probably 2011.
Yeah, right.
Fun. I had this old car. I got this Subaru Liberty surf wagon.
Sick.
And it came to the end of rego, and I wasn't going to re-rego it. And we had a block of land up in the bush. And I was just like, to a couple buddies, let's go rally this car and fuck it up. And we just did that. And then after that, we just started buying cars if they were cheap, like a couple $100. And
sick.
Then it turned into like all of us getting them and doing an actual rally. And then, we've been doing that. It's like the best day of the year. We do it every year.
Yeah, I always look forward to it more than I look forward to World Champs sometimes. Just I forget about it all year and it comes up on my Insta. I'm like, yes, it's back.
It's too much fun, eh? We always go down for a day before the rally to get the cars ready. And we go and start rallying them that day. And then we like have to stop ourselves from wrecking the cars before we even make it to the rally because it's just too much fun.
And the paint jobs, like what was it? Someone was like number COVID-19 or something this year, and it's just
you got to
epic.
start with the paint jobs. That was Newley. He had free COVID testing. It was a COVID safe event, mate.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
All the exhaust fumes would have killed off all the COVID in the air anyway.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't have exhaust, so.
Yeah, there you go.
The engine block fumes.
That's so good. Are you like into cars and stuff on the outside anyway, or?
Yeah, I'm not like a huge, like, I'm into cars. I'm not like a huge car guy. Like, it's my whole life, but I do like cars. Yeah.
Is that S15 yours, the one that you posted the other week, or?
S14, I just got one. I used to have a a 180 a few years back, and then I really wanted another one, and they're going up in price so much. I thought if I don't get one now, I'm never going to get one.
Dude, it's ridiculous at the moment. It is
Yeah.
nuts. There's do you know the A40, sorry, the 86, the A86?
Yeah, the Sprinter.
Yeah. There's one here for sale for $55,000.
Yeah, my mate's dad, where we do the rally, just got a rally one of those.
What?
Yeah.
That's rad.
It's pretty sick.
It's so expensive.
But yeah, his is fully decked out for rally, like with a roll cage and stuff.
Yeah, sick. Yeah.
But yeah, they're the same thing. I guess they're just that rare now. Everyone crashes all those rear-wheel drive turbo cars, and then there's not enough left to go around, so price gets driven up.
Because yeah, you're like even like an S14 these days is like 40 grand for some, right? It's insane.
Yeah, for a mint one, I got mine for just under 20. But
yeah, right.
Man,
sick.
My 180 in 2014, I bought it for $5,000 and sold it for $5,000. And it was pretty mint.
Should have kept it.
To pay like just under 20 for one now is like, oh, it's hard to do, but I don't think they're getting any cheaper. So.
No, I had an old customer of mine at a shop once, and he had a one owner S14 with 150,000 on the clock, like mint stock, mint condition, like this old guy. And he said he had people following him home to make an offer on the car.
That happens all the time, apparently.
It's a crazy time. Is it like a good outlet for you to forget about bikes, or is surfing more that kind of outlet?
Yeah, I'd probably say surfing.
Yeah, okay.
I go surfing pretty much every day if it's good.
Does your house like back onto the beach? Or
nah, to the lake.
Okay.
It's a bit shit. I got to drive around the lake to get to the beach. Bit of a mission, but it's a good spot, and I can put the jet ski in and like ride it out to the beach. In like 15 minutes, so that's all good.
Just jump on your jet ski and go to the beach.
Yeah, go towing.
Yeah, Ollie Wilkins would be so jealous of you right now. He wants that jet ski bad. Radman, I might start wrapping things up a little bit here. So there's like kind of 3 questions I like to ask everyone. What advice would you give to someone that wants to become a pro rider or wants to get on the World Cup circuit for like a youngster?
I don't know. I get asked that a bit, like just on inbox, like, oh, what should I do? I want to get sponsored, blah blah blah. I think if you're just having fun and riding like lots with your buddies, then like you're gonna go pretty well, like more than if you're actually thinking about trying to, I just want to be pro, I just want to be sponsored. Like just go out and ride a shit ton with your mates and see where it takes you. Like I think you're going to be better off doing that than just being worried about whether you're sponsored or I think that's where young kids kind of get confused, or like, I don't know, if you just really love riding and you're riding all the time and just want to get better, then that's when you're going to start becoming a really good bike rider and racing well, I think.
For sure.
That's what I did anyway. Like, I never had my parents try get me to do a race or like try get me to train or anything. It was always like me begging them, take me to a race, take me to the track so I can ride.
Just get stoked on it and have fun.
Stoked on riding and ride a shit ton.
It's pretty much what you do right now as well, right?
Pretty standard, yeah. But don't ride road, kids. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's terrible. Oh man. All the Canyon road sales.
Put that off until you absolutely have to do it.
Dirt is way funner.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would have changed up until now? Do you have anything like where you wish you did something different?
Yeah, I think you can always say you wish you did something different. Probably the main thing, I would not get surgery overseas again.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of fucked a year of my racing career pretty much. Like that should have just been 6 to 8 weeks out and back into it.
Yeah.
Not over a year.
Yeah. Don't get surgery into overseas.
Yeah, I'm sure other people have had experiences where everything's been fine, but that's me now. Don't get surgery overseas and come home. Unless you have to, of course. Like,
yeah. Of course.
man, that's the sketches me out a bit. Some of the places we go to in EWS, like, man, if you got hurt in Colombia or something, you would not want to be fucking going to the hospital there, eh?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I guess that's part of it.
Can't remember who it was, but someone like just got rushed into surgery in some place, and they didn't even give like consent or anything. Like it just happened, and they never knew what was happening. It's such a whole different world.
Can be gnarly. Like, yeah, imagine if my appendix blew up. Like when we went to Colombia 6 weeks later, it would have been pretty gnarly. Trying to explain to them what was going on, and then them cutting me open. Oh,
yeah.
Anyway.
Just wake up with a liver missing as well, and other things.
Yeah.
So, last question I like to ask is always a bit of a hard one for some people, but if you're not motivated to say head out on your road bike, or you're struggling getting to training or anything like that, do you have any music or anything that you like to listen to get you motivated, get you jacked up?
Yeah, I'm a rap guy. I like listening to rap.
Yeah, okay.
For like before racing or when I'm training, I listen to rap. But if I'm like heading out for surf or like just chilling around a fire watching the sunset, I'll listen to like more chilled stuff.
Yeah, okay.
So it depends on the occasion. But yeah, if I'm heading out for a ride or training, definitely some sort of rap.
Is it Aussie rap, or are you looking more?
Yeah, no. No, there's like probably
brutal
one or two Aussie rappers that I'd listen to, but yeah, mainly US.
Yeah, okay. Like old school stuff or the newer?
Yeah, I like a bit of old school stuff, but newer stuff I like. I'm not even going to be able to remember any now. Lil Uzi, Maiden Teo, ASAP, all those guys.
Yeah.
Rough all that stuff.
A little bit more trappy. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Aussie stuff is a bit odd. That's for sure.
I like the cruisier Aussie guys like All Day. That Kid Leroy's from Oz, and he's got some heavy sort of new ones. Like he's kind of changing up. I don't like the cursor and 360 type of Aussie shit though. I mean, there's people that do, but not my thing.
Have you been listening to any of that new kind of drill stuff that's coming through? Like,
no, I don't like that, eh?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I don't like it. I like a couple songs from that. I think it's 111.
Yeah.
Yeah, 111. But they've also got some that I don't like. But there's
just
a couple
heavy
good ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't really like the drill stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But it seems to be flooding all the hip hop playlists lately, eh?
It's brutal. Yeah. Like 1-4, I guess chilling it is a bit like that as well. Yeah, it's getting a bit heavy. It's starting to get to that. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I like it, but I'm not like a fan of where it's heading.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like them more. It just doesn't promote some right things.
That's all rap, isn't it? Sometimes I don't know why I like it, because sometimes I listen to the songs and I'm like, what is this? What is he talking about? Like, that is so stupid. Like, all these words in this song are that fucking dumb, but then I like it. I don't know.
It's some of the older stuff, like, I can talk about this for years, but like, even if like you listen to some of the old Tupac stuff and all the Biggie stuff as well, that's heavy.
Yeah. I feel like they were actually talking about stuff a bit more than rappers today who are just making noises and
Talking about gold chains and cars with chromies and
yeah.
Easy, man. As I said, I could talk about that stuff all day. But thanks so much for coming on, man, and making the time to come on.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me.
You going to be down at Nationals this year?
Yeah.
In Maiden, you reckon?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. And is it March or something?
Yeah, March 14th, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. I'll be there. You going?
Yeah, I'll be down doing some filming and stuff, so doing some work. So I'll be keen. Catch up. Yeah, man. It's going to be a good weekend.
Yeah. All right, mate. I'll see you there.
Easy, man. Thank you so much. We'll speak soon.
Catch ya.
Cheers.